we discussed an issue that politicians have too, like now in defense of the politician wants. It's they have a job, and most people misunderstand the job of a politician. The job of a politician is to get elected. That's what their job is. That's what they get money for. That's if they don't get that done, they're fired. That's the only thing that really matters for a politician, to get elected. And if, for example, in Austria now and in many European countries, I'm not sure how it was in America when the prices went up now. We have a big culture of demanding regulations and like price cuts and rationing and all of that. The people themselves demand it. For like the government has to step in, they have to make something, they have to do something, it can't get on and so on and so. No free market, it's not working. As we can see, we want the politicians to step in. Not stepping in as a politician in that climate would be political suicide. Let's be honest, it's impossible. So I don't know what is like the American take on that with the general population, but if there is a way for the politicians in that situation to take direct control, like through the CBDC, they will have to use it because the people will even demand it, and they won't think through like the next step or 3 steps ahead. They will just think, okay, I've got an issue now, I want that issue solved, that's something that can solve it, do it, no matter the consequences. So it's like Pandora's box is being opened. What is it like in America? Is the danger of the population demanding it realistic there too? Or is it more, no, you're more freedom and free market society overall that says, no, we don't want regulations, even if it fucks us over as an individual, we don't want the government to step in?
There's a study that was done recently that plotted the likelihood of policy coming into effect, and how that correlates with the popularity of that policy in America. And so if you survey people and you say, okay, hey, there's this policy that's being proposed, and 100% of people say absolutely not, none of us want that, the likelihood of that being put in place and becoming law is about 30%. So everybody says no, you've got about a 1/3 chance that it actually becomes law. And then you go to the other side of the spectrum and you've got a policy that is that 100% of the people say, yes, we really want this, do this. You've got about a 30% chance of it becoming law. So it's 30% across the board.
Really? It's like, yeah, the sentiment of the people doesn't matter at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Whether people don't want it at all, really want it, or some people do, some people don't, the likelihood of anything becoming law is in the United States is about 30%. And so I do agree with you that the job of a politician is to get elected, but the more scale you involve in a system, that looks different. So at a very local scale, in order to get elected, you do have to show like results. And so like at a city level and like at a town level or a neighborhood level, there's a lot of skin in the game. So you have to show results. And so in order to get elected and stay in power, you've got to be doing the things that people want. But the more you scale that system up and increase the number of people in that system, then it becomes less and less about the results after the fact and more about the popularity contest before the election. And so the results afterwards about what they actually do with policy don't actually matter as much.
Thank you for that explanation. For me as a European, it was always a bit confusing with the presidential campaigns, like, hey, they don't really talk that much about policies. But of course, the USA are big, and the European countries are more like the single states of your country. Well, not all, of course, it's different, and don't want to oversimplify, but of course it's like the state level elections are more of the national elections in our area. Like, okay, that makes sense, because of course, what am I gonna choose from the other side of the continent? Like the policies, man. Okay. Interesting, very interesting take. Thank you for that. It's always been a bit of a confusing factor. If you like this clip, watch another one. And if you want to see the whole interview, click here.